so my next question is, so what are the skills that are high in demand these days, and what do you think that will be in demand in the times to come? So, for example, if we talk about the current scenario, so what do you think? Like, it's a very demand areas, as you mentioned, wealth management. So, what apart from wealth management, and what do you think, like in the times to come, will happen? Like,
Yeah, yeah, excellent question, Puneet. Yeah. So instead of going into too much detail into each sector, I'll refer to what writer Yuval Noah Harari wrote a few years ago, right? In one of his best-selling books, and it's something that's recurring theme as well. There are four themes, right? Four skills that I think, and he also thought that are becoming increasingly important with automation and the complexity of today's world, right? And the four are communication, collaboration, creativity, and critical thinking. It's easy to remember, four C's, right? And I deliberately put communication at the front because, in my mind, that's probably the most important of all. Communication skills, that means not just negotiation skills or presentation skills, but also persuasion skills, the ability to convince people, and also listening skills. But because people are good at talking a lot, but not very good at listening.
so true.
And if I look at my career, right, forget everything. If I look at my career over the last 3 decades, and I see how I got jobs, how I grew in my jobs, how I switched from corporate to entrepreneurship, how I succeeded in entrepreneurship. Yes, of course, analytical skills, CA, CFA, IQ all help, obviously. But what really helped my case was communication, right? Commander over the language, which I had even in my teens. And that was something that propelled me, because then you can convince people, you can connect with people, people come and talk to you, people want to communicate with you. So that's number one in my view, communication. Number two would be collaboration. Now collaboration is simply teamwork. Again, something that a lot of people lack in, because people want to do everything on their own and they hate delegating stuff, right? Like Puneet might think, you know what, I am the superstar in risk management. I'm not going to get any bakara get in my way and spoil my reputation. Right?
Right, these things
And
happen.
right, because only you can do it properly. The problem is that because you don't trust people. I'm not saying you, right? I'm just saying generally.
I got it. Yeah.
Because people don't trust other people, they don't delegate, and because you don't delegate and you don't trust people, there's no teamwork. So that is a big area too that technical people should work on, right? Especially finance professionals. Third one would be creativity, and by that I mean not painting something or drawing something or or composing music. Creativity, I mean, for example, in finance, think of new models and frameworks in asset management or wealth management or whatever. Think about new ideas, new policies, and the fourth C would be critical thinking. And if I dig into that in more depth, I would say critical thinking in my mind means challenging assumptions. I mean, every day we work on the basis of lots of assumptions, right? What we call conventional wisdom, tradition, whether in a personal life or professional life. And we rarely challenge those because we think, you know what, there must be a reason why these exist. Someone very clever must have thought about it. And if I look around me, everyone is following this assumption anyway. So why challenge it? And I think that's difficult. It requires you to be gutsy and bold, but it's absolutely essential, because without critical thinking, you can't achieve breakthroughs. You can't be innovative. You can't be inventive. You
Right.
can't stand out, right? You'll just be part of the crowd. So the four C's, Puneet, would be communication, collaboration, creativity, and critical
Critical
thinking.
thinking.
Whichever field you are in, hugely applicable, I think.
Right. Great. So I can relate like these two, Elon Musk, who has been following all the four. So that's the first person who came into my mind. Okay, so he's been following all the 4 points, and yeah, he's
Correct.
a really successful person now. So like the next question that I would ask you is like, so the most important question, like how can people fill the skills gap? As you know that there's a huge gap, as I referred to in the first question, that when the people are getting graduated, they're doing their post graduation, they're just getting the skills. So like how can they fill the skills gap that is still required? Like the industry is requiring something, but they're qualified, but I mean there's still a gap. What is actually required by the industry? So how can they fill that gap?
It can't be done, Puneet. It's impossible. I'm just kidding.
I know.
I know, I'm just pulling your leg. No, no. There are many popular, tested, valid methods of filling the gap, right?